Warning, Irritable Dad Syndrome contains sensitive material and is for mature audiences only. Like any mature people, listen to this crap.
Here's the deal with us. So you're not our first guest, but you're the first guest that we don't know outside of podcasting. So you're like stranger danger. And we want to... So I've been terrified. Like, I'm going to completely embarrass us. I mean, the only person I can't hear right now is my co-host, but that I don't listen to him anyway.
You don't need to hear him anyway.
No.
Bears beats Battlestar Galactica.
Bears do not... What is going on? What are you doing? My God! Oh, that's funny.
Welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome. Save your receipt for a full refund. Here are your hosts, Mike and Darin.
Hey, I'm Darin.
I'm Mike.
Welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome. This is episode 103.
Good God.
I know.
So, all right. So this is the last normal episode because
Quasi-normal.
The next episode is the best of
Episode
year
104
two.
is going to be the best of season 2.
So
and that's going to be it's basically a clip show. Mike and I have compiled the best moments from season 2. It's going to be absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
So if you want, go to irritabledadsyndrome.com and look in the previous episodes, and then go to episode 52. That was the best of season 1.
Yeah.
Okay, if you listen to that, get caught up on the early year, or I was going to say the early year of our show, and then you can catch up on season 2 tomorrow or next week.
Yeah, the early episodes where we're sitting in the basement talking into a phone for an hour, saying, "Do I talk? Do you talk? Do I talk?"
The quality was a little bit bigger than a can with the string in between.
Yeah. So we actually have guests.
We
have
do.
guests this time. We have two members of the Decision Reel, a podcast about movies. We have, what is it, Tony and Johnson?
Randy and Steve.
Randy Johnson. No, Randy Quaid. Is that Randy Quaid? No, it's Steve and Randy from the Decision Reel. Thanks for having us on, guys. We're real excited about this.
Yeah, you're welcome. Randy and Steve are out of Maryland, and their Decision Reel podcast, it's a great podcast. They review movies each week.
Yeah.
They're a lot like us in that they go off the rails. They lose focus a little bit and ramble on and on and on. And so tonight, since we have guests, Mike and I, we absolutely love movies. So we're going to throw the format out the window.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk to Randy and Steve about movies. Because sometimes, like today, I was doing laundry and the button came off of one of my favorite pair of shorts, and I've got to ask Libby to sew that back on. We're not going to talk about that tonight.
No.
We're going to talk about that not next week, but the week after that, probably.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That could be a movie in itself.
It could.
You
Yeah.
know how to button back on the shorts?
The button.
Put up.
Yeah. See, that you already got John Williams can do the score.
Amazing score in the background going. You got Libby with the button trying to what pant does it go to? I don't know.
Exactly. It's like, I'm holding the pants right here, woman.
My brother-in-law just joined the stream, and he never comes on here, like maybe once in the past 100 episodes, and the first thing he has is he's starting some with us.
I know.
Because my sister-in-law, she has a problem with horses in movies, so let's just go right into the movies thing.
Yeah.
So if you have a screen and a film is starting and a horse appears, she's out. She's done. It doesn't matter what it is, except for Seabiscuit for some weird reason.
It doesn't make any sense.
No.
Yeah.
She's scared? Or she just doesn't like seeing them?
It's really unexplainable.
The only thing I get from it, she thinks maybe a Hobbit will be on one and she can't stand the Lord of the Rings. But we did Game of Thrones and she still walked out of the room when a horse appeared.
Yeah.
And now they're starting this
You
back
must
up
have
again.
not watched a single second of Game of Thrones because there's horses everywhere.
Horses all over the place. Yeah. It's horse palooza.
Yeah. So
Does she like horses in real life or just on film?
She doesn't mind horses in real life.
I don't think she's ever seen a horse in real life.
I don't know.
Oh, but when
It's
it
a
comes
good
to a
question.
movie, she gets terrified. It's like, nah, I don't want any of the part of this.
I don't like seeing a majestic beast in front of me on screen.
I know.
I'm out.
But no, it doesn't make a lot of sense because we were, someone had brought up The Princess Bride and she said that she hated The Princess Bride. And
What?
and I know. I know. And we dedicated a good 20 minutes of last episode to that, which, your opinion on The Princess Bride?
Great movie.
It's
Really,
fantastic
it's
movie.
great. I mean,
It's one of the
anything
greatest movies
about
ever
it
made.
is, except for the horses, right?
Except for the horses.
You can just cut all of those out.
Yeah,
It'd be great.
exactly.
Look, I got an idea. Send me whatever movie she doesn't like because horses are in it. I will make a super cut and I will put whatever she likes over top of the horse, crudely, obviously very crudely.
Okay.
But I will make a great cut and we'll call it what was her name again?
Laura.
Laura, yeah.
We'll make it the Laura cut.
The Laura
And it'll
cut.
just be, we'll put her face on the horse. How about that?
I don't know that that's going to go over very
Now
well.
that I think about it, I'm wondering if she would like the never-ending story watching Artax die. I wonder
Yeah.
if she would get into that
Yeah.
if she's so anti-horse.
I don't know.
Yeah.
My thing
You hate
about
horses
the
on
thing
screen,
about the
you gotta-
never-ending story is the movie should still be going.
Yeah, it should be.
Yeah, but it stopped. Yeah, it doesn't make
Wow,
any sense.
that's deep right there.
I know,
She
right?
But she doesn't mind Seabiscuit. That movie is literally just about horses.
Well, no. Here's her thing: that if a movie is about a horse, she's fine. But if the movie just happens to have
Involved.
horses in it, just all willy nilly,
Yeah.
then
So this is how deep it goes.
Okay.
She could watch The Shawshank Redemption
uh-huh.
from beginning to end and be just as moved by it as any normal human being would. But if Andy Dufresne would have been shown on a horse
Right.
in the last scene,
Right.
worst movie ever made.
Yeah, if he'd gotten on a horse and then rode off down the beach, yeah.
Yeah.
So
This
it
is
does-
either the most perplexed person I've ever wanted to meet in my life, or just insanity.
I don't
And
know.
I'm here for both of it.
It's one or the other. So
So yeah, so like one of the things when we were talking about having you guys on, one of the messages that went back and forth, it's like, hey, would you guys want to, go talk about a movie with us? And I'm like, maybe we don't do that the first time. And then your guys' next episode is Spaceballs, and I'm like, well, shit, I didn't know Spaceballs was on the. I didn't know that was an option.
Like I say, every movie is on the menu here at the Decision Reel. We do a thing where we have different hosts. Sometimes we have guest hosts come on and whatnot, and they pick a movie. But every week, it's almost like a roulette wheel of what's everybody going to pick, because I don't like doing a thing of, hey, this is the new movie out, so we got to do it, because everybody's doing that, right? Like everybody's looking to do
Right.
the new movie that just came out. I want to do movies that you haven't heard about or you haven't thought about for years, right? So we got a lot of good stuff in our back catalog of just those kind of things. And we got a lot more coming up too. So, I mean,
yeah,
check us out.
A few months ago, we dedicated a major part of this podcast to the movie Waiting for Guffman.
Why not?
And well, I don't consider the fourth movie. They did 4 movies, but Waiting for Guffman, Best in Show, and A Mighty Wind. That is just like it's a holy trilogy, really. And
Yeah, Best in Show is my f***ing jam.
Best in Show
Yeah.
was absolutely fantastic. Now they did one after that called For Your Consideration, which wasn't. It just, I don't know what it was. They didn't do the mockumentary type style of movie like they did the first 3 times, and it fell flat for me.
Really?
Yeah. Did
What
you
a
see
word.
For Your Consideration?
I have. And you know what? Now that you said that, my brain just went, that movie's not good either.
Don't agree with him. Don't go this, because
No, hold on. I like the way. I like,
Okay,
I like
I'll
how
let this one
guy's
go. I'll let it go.
going there,
I
like the way
fence
you
you
say
in
it.
too much.
Right.
Agreeing with me. This man's for me. No, it's funny. I watched that movie one time, and I remember like enjoying it, but thinking something felt off for me, and I
Yeah.
never thought about it the way you just explained it. And now the fact that it is part of that, same filmmaker, whatnot, trilogy, whatever you want to call it,
Yeah, mockumentary.
Yeah, mockumentary.
Yeah.
I like that word.
it kind of.
Yeah.
I invented that word, by the way. Thank you. No, what's
You got a
funny is
TM on that one.
because like over the weekend we do you have the Netflix?
The Netflix.
Netflix,
We
yeah.
have it. Yes.
Yes.
We
we have the
watched. Me and my 2 boys watched Uncharted on Netflix. Okay, this
I
was
just watched it this weekend too.
Uncharted.
Spider-Man, Tom Holland and Marky Mark were together in this movie. And normally I don't have a problem with it's like, okay, that's unbelievable and there's no way that could happen. But this was so over the top, unbelievable. People fighting on top of a cargo that's hanging from a plane, and they're jumping from one cargo bay to another, jumping toward the wind. Toward science.
Okay, let me
They
ask
would
you a
have jumped
question.
and would have flown their asses off into the wild.
Let me
blue
ask
yonder.
you a question.
Yes, sir.
I already
Yes.
know the answer to.
Okay,
You did know that it's based on a video game, right? You get that?
Yes, I did know that.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
but
So
still,
I was watching with my daughter's mom. She did the same thing. She was like, "This is the most unbelievable thing I've ever seen." I
Yeah.
was like, "It's over a video game, dude."
yeah.
So I'm. This is gonna cut myself very deeply here because I have a soft spot for Uncharted, the video game,
Okay.
because the video game series in Uncharted 2 is one of the best video games I've ever played. Now,
Okay.
It is.
unrealistic in certain parts, yeah, but
Yeah.
it's a video game, so it's going to be not realistic in certain things. Did the movie take all the most unrealistic things out of each video game and say, hey, let's make a movie about it? Yeah. So, okay, I get it. But I think the movie is dumb fun. I think it's over the top on purpose because they're trying to take those parts out of it. Is it a good movie? Jury's still out.
Not like a 6 out of 10.
6, 7. Yeah, out of 10 for sure. Okay. But like I was enjoying my time watching the movie, right? Like I wanted to see where it went. I didn't want to like check out and be like, what's on my phone? You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, the part where they somehow put nets underneath these 1,000-year-old ships and like flying through the air.
Yes.
My first thought was, this is stupid. And then I went, but this is kind of awesome too.
Me and my two boys, my wife went to bed. Me and my two boys were like, there's no way. How did they get the nets underneath the ships to pull them up through the jungle?
Show them digging for a second, like, okay, we're going to get under the ships. And then you're like,
keep digging, it's just going to get further down into the sand.
Right.
Yeah.
Take all logic out the window. Is that not the coolest visual ever? Two like ships flying through the air and hitting each other and not blowing apart for whatever reason. It's pretty cool. But it's
even if that, I think they and granted, you know, westerns they've made hundreds and thousands of westerns. They've made hundreds of rom-coms, and there's so many predictable plots. But like for the moment, I'm kind of tired of the three people working together to steal something. One guy turns on the other guy, then they both get together, and then they turn on the girl. Then the chick turns on both of them, and then at the end, I was like, "Oh, okay."
That's kind of Uncharted's jam, though. So I'm the gamer of the two of us, and I'm an Uncharted freak, but I haven't seen the movie because I just can't see Marky Marcus Sully. I just can't. But I'll eventually watch it.
Scene?
Have I seen what?
The ending scene that was spoiled in the trailer.
No. I haven't.
Yeah.
I don't even think.
Do you want me to spoil something that's going to make it
for Mike? He doesn't care.
Oh yeah, go ahead and spoil it. Yeah.
He gets a mustache
spoiler
at
alert.
the end. Spoiler alert. He gets a mustache in the end, and it makes perfect sense.
Okay.
And you know what? I am the gamer. I would say, even though Wally, he's on the podcast with us too, he's not here today, is a big gamer. I think I'm still the biggest gamer on this podcast.
Yeah, you got a whole setup right there for VR.
Sure, I got a racing simulator seat sitting here with a VR setup and everything. Whatever, we won't get into that. What I'm saying is, Uncharted is my jam behind Metal Gear Solid. So every one of those games I love, and the movie, while it is stupid, it does pay homage to mostly the good parts of Uncharted.
Yeah.
And as an Uncharted fan, you're going to sit there with a smile on your face the whole time going, well, the games did it better, but this is kind of cool.
Yeah. One thing that I know they probably didn't do it with the movie. I'll end up watching it this weekend probably, but the games just kind of had this pace where you're exploring, then you're jumping, then you're murdering about 100 people, and then you're exploring and jumping and then murdering tons of people, which is basically the same thing Last of Us did, except you're crying halfway through it because something horrible is happening in front of your face.
Halfway through it, I was crying in the first 10 minutes of in Last of Us. Manly tears, just why?
You know, it was like a month ago or maybe longer where The Rock and Wonder Woman, and I think hunky Ryan Reynolds, was it? The three of them were in. They were like in the same movie.
Red Notice.
Red Notice.
Not good at all.
Yeah, they're teaming up, and then they're both fighting Wonder Woman, and then she's like on his side, then she's on. I was like, come on, guys.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, we're married.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So
I enjoyed the movie.
I mean, it's a fun romp through the jungle almost, right? Because every Dwayne Johnson movie, he has to be in the jungle. But
recently,
it was
with Kevin Hart.
Right, with Kevin Hart on his back.
Those two together are amazing.
He signed the Adam Sandler Kevin Smith, not Kevin Smith, the King of Queens.
Kevin Arnold.
Kevin James.
Kevin James, thank you. He signed the same contract that Adam Sandler did with Kevin James. It's like, okay, we're going to give you a 10-movie deal. 8 of them have to be with Kevin Hart. It's like, okay, I'll do it. They're in every movie together.
It's funny, but when you find a good like duo like that and it works, why not milk it for all it's worth? Because
I think
who knows how many movies you're going to get.
I think they're the modern day Tim Conway and Don Knotts.
Yeah.
Look at you. Look at that. I like
I have
that.
no idea who that is.
You don't know
I
Don
just-
Knotts, Mr.
Nah.
Mr.
Yeah.
Limp? Is it Mr. Limpet?
The incredible Mr. Limpet. Yeah,
Darin's
just
slowly turning black and white in front of my eyes. He's got his pipe out. And he's about to smack his wife upside the
I'm
face
sitting
for
in
not
my
getting
easy
the
chair.
ham
Get
done.
off my lawn. Yeah.
This portion of our show is brought to you by the Pontiac Vibe. It has more power than Focus or Neon. And now, it's performance season at your local Pontiac dealer. Have you got the vibe? Pontiac excitement, most abundant. Now, back to the show.
I am Gen X. I'm pretty sure Darin is Gen X.
Yeah, I'm only 4 years.
You're only
older than
4
you.
years older than
Yeah.
me. We're assuming that you're a pair of those millennials.
I mean,
I'm just being funny.
Why don't
I
you
love
just ask
millennials.
them how old they are? That's a
Is
good
that,
way.
is that
I don't know how old
inappropriate?
you are.
I didn't ask
Yes.
him.
No, so I am significantly older than Randy is. Not by much, but much. I am 34,
Okay,
and
God.
Randy's 27.
Wow.
Okay.
I'm sure you guys are like, I don't know, 65.
Yeah.
So
73.
I retire next year. Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
I wish I could. No, I'm an old soul. For 34, I'm still So I grew up in Canada. I was originally born in Canada, and if anybody knows, Canada is behind the times. So we got everything after America got it like 10 years later. So
Do
we
they
didn't get
still
dial-up
worship-
internet until 2001, So
Do they still worship Anne Murray up there?
who wouldn't? Anne Murray's a god.
Who the f- is Anne Murray?
Walk out of my house.
I'm gonna look that up real quick.
Okay,
Anne
go ahead,
Murray
go ahead.
is-
Google Anne Murray.
I cried a tear, you wiped it dry. I was confused, you cleared my mind. I sold my soul, you bought it back for me and held me up and gave me dignity. Somehow you needed me.
No, so like I said, we got a lot of stuff, and this is for real. We got a lot of stuff afterwards. So I was growing up watching older things that had been out forever.
Right.
You know what I mean? In America. So
Right.
I grew up with a lot of older TV shows, a lot of older movies.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I said like Don Knotts. Like I watched all his movies like they were new in like '95.
Yeah.
You know.
I was
That's
about to say,
awesome.
do yourself a favor and watch, Don Knotts on Three's Company or the Andy Griffith Show. I mean,
Don Knotts is
Oh,
amazing.
okay.
Don Knotts was
I
just
know- I
a
know
comic,
who it is.
brilliant legend.
Him and
All you had, that's all you had to say.
what?
The TV show. I got it now. But now I'm looking up Anne Murray.
All right.
And like,
Now Mike's looking up Anne Murray.
I know. I'm looking at the stupid questions that I had ready to go here.
So one of
Everybody wants to boost the numbers for Anne Murray on Google searches tonight.
they're like, what the hell? Last week, we were trying to encourage people to download the song Heart and Soul by a group from the 80s called Tapao. And now this week, we're encouraging people to download anything Anne Murray.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sounds like a good night.
Yes, it does. So one of the things that Mike wanted to talk about, and whenever he gets the opportunity, he tries to get people to join on his side, and then he thinks he's right.
It's the only
even
side.
though people have opinions, which doesn't make somebody right or wrong. But Mike absolutely loves the series John Wick, and I'm not a fan.
You know what? I'm like half and half with John Wick because like there's that one scene where they're shooting each other in the mall or where the fuck they are
Yeah.
with like silencers and like under each other's arms and stuff. And you're like, somebody's seeing this. There's nobody that's not walking by like going, wait,
Hey,
should we get out of here?
Hey, they shouldn't be
You know-
doing that. We should call the police. Yeah.
Right. But when you take that out of the movie and then you look at like the other scene, like where they try to like break into his house and he literally murders everybody.
Yeah.
I killed his dog, dude.
They killed
I
his
get
dog.
it. Yeah.
I would too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Touch my dog.
And I would murder
But-
everybody in a nice.
But if you're
sad
shooting underneath your arm like that, you're getting pinched by that slide. There's no way.
by that slide, you're going deaf.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, my thing with John Wick is it's just a movie where everything is turned to absolute 11. If you're gonna, I mean, they've done the revenge thing has been done to death, But this one, they killed the dude's dog. That's taking the revenge thing to 11. Like, you're gonna kill my dog?
That's the only like original part of that movie to me. If you want a good John Wick shoot 'em up movie,
no, that's not
that's the
original.
movie called Shoot 'em Up.
It's not
I've heard of
original
that.
at all.
I haven't seen that one, but yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Many years there used to be
so over the top.
there used to be a decade called the 80s, and there was an action star.
Wait, whoa. What is the 80s?
There was a decade known as the 80s, and Chuck Norris used to have a very successful film career before he became Walker, Texas Ranger on CBS.
Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris was a badass.
Well, if we're going there, then if the conversation ends at Stallone Cobra.
Okay.
Done.
Yeah, but somebody
Cobra's amazing.
Yeah.
Somebody killed Chuck Norris's dog in Lone Wolf McQuade, which turned the light on, and he's like, "Oh hell no!" And then everybody was dead or paralyzed or both. Yeah.
Don't mess with somebody's dog. You can kill a cat. I don't care, but a
No,
dog,
you can kill all the cats.
right?
But touch my dog. It's on.
If I'm gonna sit there going, pss, 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 and that cat's gonna say "F you, bro,"
Knock it off the counters.
all cats are
Get
dead
off
to
the
me.
counter, dude. You were just
Another hot topic that Mike and I would have discussed was because Mike wanted me to go see the newest John Wick movie, and I told him I wouldn't go.
I don't want to go. I will not go.
Yeah,
in
well,
there.
hold on.
You've given up
How
on.
can you go see number 4 if you haven't seen 1, 2, and 3?
I saw 1 and 3. I haven't seen 2.
All right,
Yeah.
that's enough.
Yeah.
That's like go see the new Fast and Furious movie. You don't got to see any of them. They all suck.
That's on the list. I've never seen. Because
Stabbing
every
you.
now and then on the Facebook, you'll have people say, what big movie have you never seen? And there's always some crazy person who hasn't seen Star Wars, which doesn't make any sense how you haven't.
That's me. Hello.
Yeah, Randy hasn't seen Star Wars, and I'm a little mad because if he's on a movie podcast,
Yeah.
this is why he hasn't been moved to an actual co-host yet. He's just a guest spot.
Okay. Yeah.
All because I haven't seen Star Wars.
How can you
Yeah.
comment on any movie if you haven't seen Star Wars?
I've seen the Family Guy episode. It's like the same thing.
You have a very valid point, sir.
Yeah. It's good.
He kind of does.
Something dark side.
something dark.
Right.
That's all I need.
Yeah.
I mean, what else extra is there?
Well,
We'll watch Star Wars.
you need to see Star
Yeah,
Wars,
going
and
home.
you've got to see The Empire Strikes Back. But I mean, do you not have Disney
Well,
Plus?
The Family Guy did
No, I
upgrade
have Disney
the
Plus. I
Empire
just
Strikes
refuse
Back.
to watch Star Wars.
The part "I love you" from the Family Guy is
So good.
it's
Yeah.
comedy
Dude,
gold.
the fact that Meg is Jabba the Hutt too is like so great.
Yes.
Like
Yes, that was great. I love her. Poor
it
Meg.
just dies.
Herbert the pervert. Hey, come over here and I'll
Yep.
use the force on you.
Yeah.
You guys, what you doing over there?
Hey, Chris.
I don't understand how he makes that whistle happen every time.
Lots of popsicles.
My brother, this is so weird. My brother he's not a funny person and he can't do impressions.
Yeah.
But the only thing he can do, perfectly, is Herbert the pervert.
Yeah.
Like whistle, everything. He's like, what you guys doing over there?
My wife gets so creeped out when I do that. She's like, "Stop it, stop it." So Mike was wanting me to go see the next John Wick, and I was telling him that I wouldn't. But then I struck up a deal with him because, and I don't know what you guys think about musicals, but I told him that if he sees The Greatest Showman,
No.
because I went like as far away from John Wick as you could possibly get. I'm like, if you watch The Greatest Showman, then I'll watch John Wick 4 with you. And that's when he shut up.
Yeah.
Terrible trade-off.
Yeah.
But you know what? Huge Jackman to me can do no wrong.
Huge
So
Jackman.
if he's gonna be singing in front of me and being my man that I want to see on the screen, I don't care if it's Logan. I don't care if it's The Greatest Showman. I think I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah.
And even if it's not a good movie, I'm still gonna be like, "That's my man on the screen right there."
So you
giving me
didn't think it
nice
was a good
performance.
movie?
I actually haven't seen it yet.
I've never seen it either.
Okay.
But I'm not opposed to musicals, right?
Right.
So like Chicago, great movie. Rocky Horror Picture Show. I mean, you can kind of say
yeah.
that's a musical, right?
Yeah,
So
La La Land
I'm
was really
about-
good.
Yeah, La La Land. Yeah, exactly. Great movies. As long as there's a good plot behind it. I'm pulling a Rick from Rick and Morty there. Sorry, Morty. As long as there's a good story behind it and the singing and the performances are great, I'm there. But Les Miserables with Hugh Jackman
Yeah.
was
It was boring. I couldn't get into that one.
Now, when they started singing, I was like, okay, cool. And then they stopped singing, and then I was like, well, there's nothing happening here.
I have a problem with musicals that are non-stop musical, start to finish. They're singing. I don't care if it's like what was the Spielberg one he just did last year, the remake of
City
West
something
Side,
or whatever it was.
the West Side Story. Yeah, they have a conversation and then they break into song and dance, and that's fine because that's what Mike and I do. We break into song and dance during the commercial breaks
all the time.
That's perfect. Why wouldn't
all the
you?
time. But
Just like Family Guy.
Yeah.
We're gonna fight these guys in the street, not with 6 years of tap and jazz or whatever.
But when it's non-stop singing and dancing, that gets old for me. And the Greatest Showman was not that. They'd have a conversation and then they'd break into a song, and not even such a song, a great song. So my wife and kids, they wanted to watch it. I'm like, okay, well, I'll probably fall asleep on this in the first 10 minutes. I was on the edge of my seat, loved every second of it. I thought it was fantastic.
Perfect, yeah.
It's one of those movies that it was just really, really good. It was a really good story. The songs are good. The cinematography, everything about that movie was really good.
So on my end, I have never been able to stand musicals. It drives me nuts. If I'm watching a movie and somebody starts singing, I lose my mind. I walk out. I can't do it. However, wife and I were watching Rocket Man. Another thing about me is I'm an idiot. So that factors into the story too. So we're watching Rocket Man, and I am totally into it. And it gets about halfway through it, and I start to realize that they're singing every 10 minutes. And slowly my brain is just like, just a minute. I like this movie, and this is a musical. And I looked over at my wife, and she's just laughing herself silly at the fact that I'm digging the movie.
You let your
and
guard
she's like,
down.
You like a musical.
You tried something new.
This is not a musical.
It is too.
It's a rockumentary.
It's a musical.
Okay.
Well, I mean, like every Disney movie.
Not
in the
everything's
early...
a documentary.
It's a mockumentary. No, every Disney movie in the early 90s was a musical, right? I mean, like Lion King, all that.
Yeah.
Those movies
Little
are
Mermaid.
great.
God, I absolutely love The Little Mermaid. I've got
That's
Little
what I'm
Mermaid
saying.
memorized.
Yeah.
There you
And
go.
I'm not
Look, you
embarrassed
like
to say it.
musicals.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Weren't they supposed to make like a live action Little Mermaid?
They better.
Yeah,
they couldn't get the shells to stay on.
Yeah, to stay on her boobs. Yeah. No, I seriously do not want them to do that. I want them to stop because Disney, they can hire, what are those, what's it called? Screenwriters. Yeah, they can hire people to write original ideas. But what they're doing is they're going through their entire vault, their back catalog, and they're making, real movies of their cartoons. And The Lion King, oh my God, The Lion King was like almost 95% CGI. And when the original was a cartoon,
100%.
And my thing is like, it's
There's
like,
a lot of animals in that one there, bud.
Yeah,
I think
a lot
it's
of, yeah.
mostly CGI.
But I'm like,
maybe some of the backgrounds might have been fake.
There was a prairie
They're
dog
real.
that was not CGI. It's prairie dog.
But I remember telling people, like, listen, if you want to see The Lion King, just go to Blockbuster if there's still one in your neighborhood. Rent the cartoon and enjoy it because it's still 100 times better than.
Bro, it's on Disney Plus. You don't need to go and find the last Blockbuster in Ohio.
Exactly.
Wait, it is in Ohio, isn't it? You guys could go there.
No, it's not. The last Blockbuster, I believe, is in Alaska. No, where
Nope,
is it?
there was 3 in Alaska, and they all closed. I'm 100% sure it's in Ohio. Randy, Google it for me. The last Blockbuster.
Well, it's funny because they did a documentary of it on Netflix. Like, Netflix is showing a documentary about this company that they kicked their teeth in.
If that's not the biggest, hey, I'm going to moment.
It's like, we put y'all out of business, and now we're going to show everybody how we did it. Netflix.
It's in the town of Bend, which I'm assuming is Oregon.
Oregon.
Bend, Oregon.
It was with an O.
Yeah.
I was close.
Oregon, Alaska, whatever.
Somewhere on the West Coast.
Basically the same state.
This portion of our show is brought to you by Blockbuster Video.
So what are your thoughts on remakes? We were talking about this last week, that for the most part, I'm of the opinion that they should stop remaking movies and start making original movies again.
So here's my take on it. And this is, you kind of got into it with the Disney stuff there about how they're going through their back catalog and just saying, let's make a live action remake.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What's making them money right now, right? What are they banking on that people are going to go see? Obviously, you're going to remake a movie. People are going to see it, regardless if it's good or not. They don't care.
Yeah.
They're remaking it because people are going to see it. You got all these people saying, "Oh, Hollywood's out of original ideas." No, they're not. They're just not banking on people that are making these original ideas because they know no one's going to go to the theaters to see them. So they're putting them on Netflix or Hulu or whatnot. Like the newest Prey movie came out on Hulu.
Yeah.
Why isn't it in the theater?
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
Or
Right.
isn't Marvel Disney now?
Yeah.
Well,
Disney
Marvel
owns
bought
Marvel.
Fox and-
Yes.
Right.
Disney
So,
owns Marvel, Pixar.
Yeah.
They own
But those
Star
aren't
Wars.
original movies.
Yeah.
They're taking already stories that have been made for generations almost, if you think about it,
Yeah,
because the
yeah,
Marvel
yeah.
comics have been
No,
fucking
you're right.
since the
Yeah.
40s. So they're taking those ideas and remaking them for the screen. Sure,
Yeah.
it's a newer movie or a newer idea, but if you want to go back and look, Gesundheit, if you want to go back and look, I mean, they've made Marvel movies since the 80s. Like,
Yeah.
there's a Thor movie, there's an Amazing Spider-Man movie, there's a Captain America movie from the 80s and 90s.
They're just elaborating on it a lot more.
Sure. So with remakes, they're only doing it because they know they're making their money back. And to be perfectly honest, movies are a business just like anything else.
Yeah.
It's all about money.
No, I know
It doesn't
that.
matter
Yeah.
how good
No,
it is.
you're absolutely right, and that's why they don't make it because it's fun.
Right. Exactly. Now,
They don't enjoy making these movies. They just want the money.
exactly. Now, can you make something that is enjoyable that people will like that does make money? Yes.
Yeah.
But look at the newest, like you said, the newest Lion King movie. They made that movie to make money. It wasn't for creative reasons.
Mm-hmm.
You're not, you know what I mean? Cruella, even, like that movie is really good.
I couldn't get past like the first
Cruella
30
was
minutes.
good.
High because it's really good.
I couldn't
Yeah.
do
It's
it.
really good
Yeah.
because you got to take it off what it kind of is. It's a different
The
origin
Dalmatians.
story for Cruella, and then at the end of the movie, spoilers, you're like, she's f***ing crazy. Like, it's really good.
It's like, wow, I've just really started to fall for her.
What's the one with the Angelina? Was it Angelina Jolie with the horns coming out of the head?
Yeah, even that,
Maleficent.
like, how are you going to
Yeah.
make somebody who's a villain, who's vilified, and the only thing you know about them is being a horrible person and make him into the movie, and you're like, oh yeah, this person's all right.
Yeah.
Right.
I could get behind those.
They took her kid.
Yeah.
They got pissed off too.
They killed her dog.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then it undermines the original movie, right? Because now you're watching that movie going, well, yeah, of course she's bad.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
is that
But is she?
But what I'm saying is, does that make that movie worse, right? Now that you're watching it today, like that would be like The Little Mermaid, right? What Ursula, you find out that somebody.
Imagine if she wasn't the bad guy.
That's what I'm saying. Oh, okay, we're gonna take it even crazier than this. Are you ready?
Yes.
Wizard of Oz.
Uh-huh.
Who is the bad guy in that movie?
Wicked Witch of the West.
The Wicked
Boy.
Witch of the West, yeah.
No, the bad guy in that movie is the good witch Glenda.
Uh-huh.
Think about it. She brings what's her face from Kansas, right? They drop a house on this one witch. She
Dorothy,
takes
yeah.
her shoes.
Yeah.
The Wicked Witch of the West only wants her sister's shoes back because they're her shoes.
I think that's a good reason. I mean, I'm
Right?
perfectly fine with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Take my shoes
Okay,
out of
so
her
the
and that's
entire
it.
movie is now all these people trying to get to the wizard, and all she wants back is her shoes and whatnot. She's not doing anything like evil. Glenda's the one who's making all this happen.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Never thought about that.
Well, here's a psychopathic thing that I found on the internet at 3 a.m.
Okay.
A
Let's
couple
go.
of years ago. Is The Wizard of Oz is what the movie that everyone knows is just like one volume in this huge Lord of the Rings-ish tale of all kinds of
For it.
stuff.
Right.
And
Right.
I started reading the synopsis of the other novels, and dude did some drugs. Okay, the dude started experimenting when he wrote, or he or she or whatever wrote Wizard of Oz.
Right.
After that, gateway drugs, is doing some ayahuasca, all kinds of stuff, seeing God.
What? Ayahuasca?
Doing what?
Ayahuasca?
That's the stuff they do in the South America where you like the DMT. You know what I'm talking
Yo,
about?
look,
No, I
whatever's
don't.
gonna
I,
get
know where
you,
I'm at.
better
you,
Wizard
you
of Oz,
have
I'm here
lost.
for it.
The drugs I took are nothing like the drugs that you took. Because I'm thinking like ibuprofen and
No.
antacids.
No.
Yeah.
This is like way beyond Robitussin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tylenol once, and I saw God's eyes. I swear to God.
I woke up and I saw Jesus.
Yeah.
It's like the Never-Ending Story, the book, the Never-Ending, the movie, the first movie is just the first half of that book.
Yeah.
The book goes on and it gets weird.
Yeah.
So when they were making the movie, they're just like, we're gonna stop right here where he gets the dog dragon and he scares everybody and he just kind of lives in Fantasia.
Well,
they
with-
left out the rest of it.
There's actually more to this whole thing.
The never-ending story. It doesn't end, bro.
Yeah, it's never ending. No, but with The Wizard of Oz, they did the prequel, which was the Broadway show Wicked.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Really
is
good.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm talking. There's like a Marvel universe of Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
It's like an
There's
ungodly.
like one whole movie just based on the
I'm
monkeys.
here for that.
Irritable Dad Syndrome is proud to be associated with Newsly, the all-in-one audio super app for iOS and Android. For the first time ever, the entire internet becomes listenable, all in one place. Newsly picks up articles about the most trending topics and reads them to you in a natural human voice. Irritable Dad Syndrome is available there too. You can find trending podcasts from more than 80 countries and digital radio as well. So stop scrolling and start listening. Download Newsly now. Just go to www.newsly.me and use this promo code 1RR1TABLEDAD and receive a free 1-month premium subscription.
Okay, on the stream, it's Horse Watch 2022. I guess apparently Laura is okay with zebras, but not horses, which is completely racist.
What did you guys just say?
Said a zebra is a sexy horse, right?
Yes.
Because it's like a tiger. So I'm okay with it.
A zebra's a horse.
Yeah.
It is.
Whatever.
So back to the Laura cut. We're gonna take out all the horses.
But zebras.
Put zebras in, and she's gonna be fine with every movie that's ever been made.
Yeah.
No, I take it back. I take it back. Hold on. We're gonna put zebras and horses in every movie ever.
Could you
and see what
imagine in the
happens.
Game of Thrones they came out running zebras instead?
I want to see it.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be like cool though? Like, I got dragons. Yeah, I got zebras, bro. Where do they come from? A land you've never heard of before called Africa.
Yeah.
They'd be like, what? Yeah.
Hey, what happened?
They don't breathe fire. They just they
there.
eat grass, I guess. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Mike and I, we're big fans of like Kurt Russell and Harrison Ford and George Clooney and these guys because they're primarily known for being leading male hunky actors, but these guys who went for so long doing dramatic roles are actually quite funny and have a very, very good comedic side to them. Who do you guys think are the most like underrated non-traditional comic actors?
Michael Keaton. But before we get that, I have the best fun fact ever for Kurt Russell.
Okay.
The last words Walt Disney ever spoke before he died
Okay.
was Kurt Russell. And then he died.
No, he did not. Really?
Where do you get your facts from?
Wow.
Look, I'm a plethora.
Wikipedia?
I am a plethora of the dumbest knowledge you'll ever know.
That's right before they froze his head and stuck it in the
and
thing.
put it underneath Disney World. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You're right. Before they froze his ass and put him in the I hate.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
We interrupt this show for this public service announcement.
So the last words that he said before he was put in the chamber was Kurt Russell.
Well, what was he? I mean, what was he talking about him?
Kurt Russell was an up and coming actor.
Oh no, yeah, I
in the
know he
day.
did he and did Goldie Hawn do some old Disney movies too? But
Probably,
yeah,
but he was like a young child, and he saw him
Yes.
as the future of the film business.
yeah,
And I guess he was trying to like, everybody, you need Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
And then
there you go.
Yeah.
So what,
getting back to what I was saying,
Yeah.
Michael Keaton
Okay.
to me is the most underrated comedic actor. If you've ever seen the movie Multiplicity,
I have
amazing in that movie.
Yeah.
And he plays what, 4 different acts?
at least,
Yeah, four different, whatever.
yeah.
There's a couple other movies.
And they made that movie before they had the technology to like really make that movie.
Yeah, that was a definite like a movie that they were trying to figure out how to do
Yeah.
what they did in it. And there's a couple scenes even today you watch it, you're like, wow, they just high five.
Yeah. Well,
How
plus
did that happen?
he's Mr. Mom.
Well, yeah, that's. I saw him as a
221, whatever it takes.
growing up in the '80s. He was like a comedic dude, and then when he did Batman, it was like, whoa,
Yeah.
he can do non. Is he gonna like sit on a
you know what?
fart
I did the
balloon?
same thing when they picked him as Batman. I'm like, Mr. Mom is gonna be Batman.
Say, okay, check this out. So
Okay.
Robin Williams is
Yeah.
another. So my wife never saw any of the Robin Williams comedy, any of that. She didn't even see him as a comedian. She first saw him in Dead Poet Society and on. So when
Really?
he did another comedy show, another comedy hour on HBO, like later on in life, we watched it. She was shocked that he was doing comedy and he was cussing. I was like, it's Robin
Robin Williams.
This is that's what
It's,
he
Robin
does.
Williams live on Broadway because that's like the best HBO.
I
special.
think it is. I think it was the first one in a long time.
Yeah, he went through like 20 bottles of water. I've never seen somebody sweat
Yeah.
so much.
Oh, yeah.
He stood there and he told jokes. And honestly, I think he drank maybe 20 bottles of water.
Yeah. But it
Yeah.
would be like somebody seeing Tom Hanks in Bosom Buddies now. Be like, wait,
what?
and Splash. Like,
Yeah.
what? He could, what? He
Wait,
does
wait,
that?
hold on a second. Have you guys heard of Bosom Buddies?
I have
Okay,
No.
okay, good.
No idea.
because
what
it's
you're
Tom
talking about.
Hanks. You know Tom Hanks.
Yeah, I know who that
It's
is.
Tom Hanks and the other guy that was in like every after-school special.
Peter Scolari.
Thor, for
Yeah.
me, like, okay, so here's the deal.
Okay.
The first Thor movie,
Uh-huh.
I couldn't stand because the dude was like, I didn't like, he had the blonde eyebrows turned me off. I couldn't handle that. And then it was just so damn serious. And now that we're in Ragnarok and with Love and Thunder, I'm laughing myself silly at the dude.
I love Chris Hemsworth.
No, Chris Hemsworth is hysterical. And something funny that he did, he and his brother, is it Liam Hemsworth?
Yeah,
They
He has another
Yeah.
Liam and
the one we don't talk about.
Coco.
And Noel,
He's on-
Noel Hemsworth.
Noel
Noel and Liam.
Hemsworth.
Yeah.
No, Chris
What
and Liam
Relevant?
were on Jimmy Kimmel. This is 5 or 6 years ago, and they reenacted the Charlie Bit My Finger video. And here's Chris Hemsworth, Charlie bit my finger, and it hurt. And it's hysterical. And I'm like, so this macho badass Chris Hemsworth has really no problem at all with acting like an idiot and doing that because it's funny.
yeah, and then it's really funny too, right? Like, so you watch the first two Thor movies, and you're like, the first one, you're like, okay, there's a little bit of comedic stuff in it. You know, he's like another, and he smashes the mug, but he's still
Yeah.
playing it straight.
Yeah.
Then Thor: The Dark World, you're like, it's an okay movie,
See,
whatever.
I
Marvel,
liked
all
The
right,
Dark
let's see what we're
World.
doing.
Okay, this is my history with the Marvel movies. I saw Iron Man, and I saw Hulk, and then I saw when Iron Man 2 came out. Okay, and then when Thor came out, I didn't know that the movies were all interconnected. Captain America came out, and I didn't see that because I knew nothing about Captain America. I had no idea who Chris Evans was, nothing. And so I passed on that. I passed on Thor. And then I think later on I saw Guardians of the Galaxy look good. I enjoyed that. And, you know, it's like I saw Black Panther. And then people keep talking about, did you see this? And how cool was it that they threw that in? And then the scepter. And I was like, what are you guys talking about?
Yeah.
So we finally went back and watched them. I watched these Marvel movies all out of order. Like, and then, so when I watched Thor, The Dark World, there was stuff in that. It's like we see Loki getting killed the second time. And then we say, well, you still haven't seen.
I haven't seen The Dark
Yeah.
World, no.
Yeah. So a lot of things were explained to me, but I enjoyed The Dark World. I thought it was good.
I liked it, but in the concept of what they were doing with the MCU, which you just said you didn't really pay attention to,
Right.
it felt like it didn't fit at the time when it came out.
Right.
So you were
Then
like,
you got the other movies come out, and then it's like, oh, okay, this is where it plays its role.
Yes.
right. So what I'm trying to say is, so you got Chris Hemsworth, where you're like, he's this brooding guy who's like serious all the time, especially in that movie. He's not funny. There's no part where there's maybe one or two like little jokes, but there's nothing where you're just like, ha,
Yeah.
this guy, all right, you know, whatever. And I feel like whatever Taika Waititi did with Thor Ragnarok, he came in and was like, look,
Right.
we're going to completely shake things up. Like,
Yeah.
Yes.
we need a refresh. We need to turn the page. We need to completely change your character.
Yeah.
And Ragnarok is definitely one of my favorite MCU movies, but I don't think it happens without Guardians of the Galaxy basically being funny the entire time.
That's
and
true.
I hate to say this, but it is Crisp Rat coming in there and changing the way that people perceived MCU movies is, oh, they can all be funny.
I forgot you don't like him that much.
Look, I'm just going to say his real name, Chris Pratt.
Thank you.
Not
I
Chris
liked him.
Rat.
I liked him on Parks and Rec because he was fat and kind of just in the background
Parks
in
and
a
Rec,
loop.
man.
Yeah.
I
Mouse
love
Rat.
Parks and Rec.
Great.
Yeah,
show.
exactly. Like,
Dude, they're on Spotify, and I love the whole album. It is amazing.
bye bye, little Sebastian.
Wait,
Like,
hold it.
it's
Mouse Rat has an album on Spotify?
Yeah.
On
Okay.
Spotify.
Okay, I'm down with that. I'm totally
Yep.
down with
That on-
that. I didn't know that.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
It really is. So that's the Chris Pratt that I like because he wasn't the main character, so his comedic timing was like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like
The
it
only
works.
reason I watched that show was because of him.
Yeah.
And that makes sense, but he's not the main person on it, right? To
Yeah.
me, Leslie Knope obviously is the main character,
Yeah.
but
Ron Swanson.
Ron
you have
Swanson.
the better supporting characters, like Ron Swanson, like you just said, is honestly maybe one of the best TV characters of all time.
Oh, absolutely one of the best TV
Right,
characters
like-
of all time.
Just give me all the bacon and eggs you have. Wait. I worry what you just heard was, give me a lot of bacon and eggs. What I said was, give me all the bacon and eggs you have. Do you understand?
Yeah, people will say, "Oh, well, you know, Jerry Seinfeld or Michael
Jerry-
Scott
nah.
or whatever."
Jerry Seinfeld, I think he's a funny guy and I like him. I think he's genuinely a good person, but he's a horrible actor. He couldn't even play himself. So
You know what? That's the charm of Seinfeld,
That's
I
true.
feel like,
Yeah.
because you know he's the one who's not the good actor, so everybody else around him makes him better. Even Home Improvement, if we want to get deep into this,
Yeah.
had suffered from the same thing where people thought Tim Allen was not going to be a good actor.
Mm-hmm.
Jokes on them.
Jokes on them, exactly. He was great in
Yeah.
Home Improvement, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the reason why Home Improvement ever came to exist was because of Seinfeld. And all these other places went, well, we need to grab these comics and make shows about them,
yeah.
right? So getting back to my overall
Hold on.
arcing story
Mm-hmm.
Before we get there.
Randy.
We're going with Tim Allen.
Okay.
Did he do stand up before?
Hey, what happened?
Yeah,
Oh
man.
yeah,
Did he
yeah.
do-
Great stand-up on Netflix.
Yes,
Really?
Yes,
Yeah.
he did.
Tenor Pigs and
Quite
like
I'm so
famous.
young.
Yeah, he would get up on stage. He'd already be sweating. You'd be like, "Well, that's odd," and
Yeah.
then later you'd find out, "Oh,
He was drilled on
he
cocaine.
was just
yeah.
drilled." Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't get arrested in the 70s for having 17 pounds of marijuana.
Yeah.
Sorry, 17 pounds of cocaine in my backseat.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he had
What were you gonna-
he had a sordid past. So okay, who didn't, right?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah,
We've all
everybody's
done
got a
that.
skeleton or two in their closet.
Yeah.
He just had a lot of cocaine in it too.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
anyways, what I was saying was, without Guardians of the Galaxy and Chris Pratt doing what he did with that movie and making it pretty much the movie was jokes first and then the movie.
Right.
Where before that, MCU was more,
Yeah.
all right, here's a quip or two or some funny dialogue, or even in Iron Man, like, yeah, Robert Downey Jr. is great and he's cracking jokes, but the movie is still a serious tone.
Yeah. That's
Iron
true.
Man 2
That's true.
got away from it. But without Guardians of the Galaxy, I don't think you get a Taika Waititi doing Ragnarok
Yeah.
for them to say,
Yeah.
let's take a chance on this guy who's made only funny kind of movies that aren't serious yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, they struck gold.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people are saying that the newest Thor movie, Love and Thunder, is not good or is too jokey.
I
I don't want to
was-
joke every second.
Yeah, I was giggling the entire way through.
Yeah. I liked it, but I rank it fourth amongst the Thor movies. There's number one is Ragnarok, then the original Thor, and then you got The Dark World, and then Love and Thunder. The goats.
Yeah, see,
the goats drove me crazy,
I love the goats.
and I loved
Yeah,
the goats
no,
at
I-
first, but the 12th time they came through, I was like, okay, I'm done with the goats.
It's one of those you pound a joke into the ground until it's not funny,
Yeah.
and then you keep doing it, and then you're like,
And-
it's
and
so,
that's
It's
like-
the Family Guy
I s-
formula.
and
You
I
keep
still
repeating it
liked-
until it quits
yeah.
being funny, and then
Yeah.
you repeat it over and over, and then it's funny again. So
I still liked it when it comes on Disney Plus. We'll watch it again. And
the
it's like, I
goats when
enjoyed
when they flew into the moon,
Yeah.
and then the goats screamed at the end.
That was
I
funny.
peed a little.
yeah. And again, like we all went to we got this theater up the road a little bit. It's called the DC Alamo. It's a really nice place. We went up there and we watched it
I
all
remember
together
the
with
Alamo.
Yeah, and
You remember the Alamo?
Yeah.
I won't forget.
we watch movies there now.
Pee-wee's Big
it's
Adventure.
cool because,
Yeah.
you can sit down, get food, get drinks, alcohol, whatnot. It's a
Spent a
little.
lot of money there.
It was probably like 20. Was it $20 a
He
ticket?
spent like
80
70,
bucks, yeah.
80 bucks.
Well, again, $20 for the ticket, and then you can get food, and it's like gourmet, like
Nice.
delicious
Yeah.
food.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you like write on a ticket, so like nobody can, you're not saying, "Hey, give me this popcorn" to somebody who's walking by you. You just, write it on a thing, you give it to somebody, and they go and get it for you.
Let me get back to Chris Pratt, or Crisp Rat, as you called him. I'm going to keep calling him that. As you know, I was a big fan of the original Guardians of the Galaxy. When we saw the second one, I initially I wasn't overwhelmed with it, but upon second and third viewing, I've it's really grown on me. But
Yeah, it gets better.
Chris Pratt really, I think, shined the hardest in Infinity War. It's like he's the alpha character. So what do? They put him with Iron Man, another alpha character, and then they throw in Doctor Strange, a third alpha character.
I agree with that. And you
Holy
have so many
crap.
big
These three
people who
guys
are
all
playing
having a
out.
pissing contest was just endlessly entertaining. And Spider-Man the whole time, I don't know what's going on and what I'm supposed to do, and it's just, oh my God, it's brilliant. It's like, and one of the people as a guest won't get this reference, but in Empire Strikes Back, when they separated R2D2 and C-3PO and put 3PO in with Harrison Ford or Han Solo and Chewbacca, the not the chemistry, but the lack of chemistry really made that movie shine, and that's exactly what they did in Infinity War. Let's put these three polar
That's a great
opposites.
Yeah, that's a great point right there that you just said. What makes that movie work, like with Harrison Ford and them just not being able to play off each other. But that's the point. That's why you put them with each other, because they don't work with each other, but you do that to show that.
Yeah.
And it makes the movie like have depth to it now. Like these people don't even like each other and there's nothing here, but that means there is something here because now they're going to grow together and like show you what they're about. And
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This portion of our show is brought to you by the Bic 4-Color Retractable Pen. Hi, I'm Dave Lay, and I love to sign autographs. Whenever I greet my adoring fans, I'm never without my Bic 4-Color Retractable Pen. I actually feel naked without it. This pen is the greatest thing since individually sliced cheese. Here's how I use it. I write in black whenever I sign my checks, blue for autographs for the guys, red whenever I sign stuff for the ladies, and green whenever all the other colors dry up. The Bic 4-Color Retractable Pen, available wherever quality office supplies are sold. Now back to the show.
Let's talk about Christopher Nolan. Christopher Nolan has been extremely underestimated, underappreciated. He doesn't have an Academy Award. I don't understand what the deal is and why people haven't just given Christopher Nolan like a statue.
They're still trying
named
to
a
figure out
bridge
what
after
his
him.
movies mean. And then they'll get one when they figure it out.
What do you guys think
Okay,
about
so
Christopher
I'm
Nolan?
gonna ask the question then.
Okay.
What is Christopher Nolan's best movie? There's only one answer.
Mo-
But what is his best movie?
Memento.
You're wrong.
No, I'm not.
It's The Prestige.
Well, it's nice having him on. We'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for.
Well, I haven't seen The Prestige. I've heard awesome things about The Prestige. I haven't seen it.
The reason why that movie is the best movie he's ever made is because it's a magic trick.
Yeah.
And he's making a movie that is a magic trick. So you have to watch it more than 3 times to understand the magic trick he's showing you.
Mm-hmm.
And to do that over a movie
Yeah.
is incredible. And to make that movie enjoyable and entertaining, and the first watch is just as good as the third watch.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know of a movie that has ever done that. Like
Yeah.
The Dark Knight, Memento. It's amazing. Like Memento, I love that movie. And you're right, it is one of his best works. But I don't think it's his best work. His best work is The Prestige, because I've never seen a movie where the third time I watched it was different than the first 2 times.
Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And that makes me want to watch it now.
Yeah.
Have you seen the movie Primer or Primer? I don't know how I think it's Primer.
We have it. That kind of has the same deal, right? Where you
Yeah.
have to watch it and at the end going, well, what? Oh, and then you watch
What?
it back and you go,
Yeah,
oh.
the first time you
okay.
watch it, you're sitting there, and at the end, you're like, what?
Hey, what happened?
And then you start it over again. And you're like, oh. And then I've watched it, I don't know how many times, and I like to. It's
That's
a little
the
game.
one that ends where it starts, right?
No,
Halfway.
no, it's a time travel movie.
Okay.
But I like to. It's a little game I play with myself. I know what it means. I've read all the art. There's like websites dedicated with what the movie means. But it's always fun for me to start watching the movie and see how far I can make it before I get completely confused. Even though I already know everything, there's always a point where I'm like, I have no idea. I don't know who that is. I don't know where they're going. I don't know why they're doing that. I don't know which copy of this person it is.
What was the last Christopher Nolan movie that came
Tenet.
out?
That's the one you're
Tenet.
thinking about, where it
Okay.
ends, where it begins.
Man, I need to try that one again because I got so lost. And I think the problem with that one is, I'm an old man, and I was watching it late at night, and I just couldn't stay focused on it. But that one ends like where it starts, and half of it's like backwards and another is forward. But my thing about Christopher Nolan is, does he order breakfast backwards? Does he walk backwards? What is he? I mean, the guy's mind does not work like us, mortals. I don't get it, but I still think he is just.
I think so. Like Tenet, the problem I have with that movie is, I feel like, and this happens with a lot of musicians. There's no one to rein him in anymore.
Yeah.
Right. There's no one to say, "Hey, maybe this doesn't work."
Right.
Or, "Hey, maybe you shouldn't go this far out."
Yeah.
And Tenet, yes, you have to watch it again, and that's the whole point. And he's making a movie just like M. Night Shyamalan. There has to be a twist in it, or else not an M. Night Shyamalan movie, right?
Right.
Christopher Nolan needs to have that weird, maybe time doesn't work this way, or you have to watch the movie again afterwards to understand what's happening.
Yeah.
But you don't need to do that every time,
That's
So
true.
I think Tenet suffers from that. Yo, bro.
Yeah,
That
it's
doesn't
like,
make
we
sense.
love you. We're not quite getting this one. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Because Dunkirk, one story took place in an hour, one took place in a day, one took place in a week. Right? Is that the time?
5 minutes, an hour, and a
Something
day.
like
I
that,
think.
yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But I'm dumb. I'm an idiot. I still figured out Dunkirk, and I could watch Memento and completely understand Memento. When I walked out of it, it took a little bit of so he was the it's one of those on the ride home.
So two things, and they both have to do with the Joker.
Okay.
All right. So one is, and this is for Darin, or anyone. They're making a sequel. It's a musical, which puts me in a quandary because now I have to watch a freaking musical
with Joaquin.
Hold on, they tell me it's a musical, and I go, oh, and then they go, but Lady Gaga's in it, and I go, oh,
yeah.
Like,
It's
I don't know how to feel.
It's
Gaga.
It's
Lady Gaga.
Joaquin
Not
and,
Lady
and
Gaga.
the
Lady
Gaga.
Lady Gaga.
and the other one is I saw a thing by Quentin Tarantino talking about the Joker.
Okay.
And how brilliant the movie was, because he's pointing out that through the course of the movie turns the audience into a psychopath. Have you guys heard this? Have you heard the Quentin Tarantino going through this?
I've read something that is kind of along the lines. I don't know if it was from Quentin Tarantino or whatnot.
Okay,
but
so his thing was his like you at the end you want him to, like, when he shoots. Spoiler, I guess. When he shoots Robert De Niro, part of you is like, yeah. It was like, when you think about it, Robert De Niro is just doing what any talk show host does. He's just making jokes.
Entertaining.
And this psycho just stands up and just shoots him dead in the face. And for a split second, you're like, yeah. And it's like, what the hell is wrong with you as an audience?
For a split second I was like, oh, wait, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did.
Okay.
Maybe I'm a
I
psycho.
might be a psychopath because I went, somebody needs to shoot this guy, and then he shoots him. I went, yeah.
I wasn't serious. We have a request. Steve Farrell on our hotline here has said, I can't believe you guys haven't discussed Cannonball Run. Have either of you seen the Cannonball Run with Burt Reynolds?
So I have seen definitely Cannonball Run. It's been a number of years. Like I said, Canada gets things a little later in life.
They got it last week.
Yeah.
Last week. It was like this week. No, so it's definitely been a while, but dude, Cannonball Run is one of those movies where it's so enjoyable that you lose yourself in the movie, right, while you're watching it.
Yeah.
And then when it's over, you're going, kind of wanted a little bit more of that.
Another 20 minutes of
It's
Cannonball
one.
Run.
Okay, so when I watched the movie Blow, and Johnny Depp is talking about how if you did coke in the 80s, 97% chance it came from us. And I'm like, man, there must have been a lot of coke in the 80s. If I needed to see proof that a lot of people were doing a lot of coke, you would throw Cannonball Run and Smokey and the Bandit and say, right there. Those were super, super popular.
Yeah,
and
huge.
the majority of and plus this man with the mustache laughs himself silly with Dom DeLuise for an hour and a half multiple times.
Oh, and they invented I think they invented the footage during the credits. Showing the bloopers during the credits. Pixar stole that because Pixar showed bloopers during the credits. They made bloopers.
Yeah,
they did that in A Bug's Life.
They did in Bug's Life and Toy Story.
You got that in 2003 in
2.
Canada.
Yeah. Well, guys, hey, listen, thanks for coming on our show. We really appreciate it. I've had a good time. This is great movie chatting. Everybody here in Irritable Dad Syndrome Land, check out the Decision Reel. You can go to Decision Reel is it decisionreel.com?
Well, let them plug their thing.
Oh,
Let
guys,
them run
plug
through
your
their
show.
thing.
Yeah,
we'll plug our thing.
Before you do that, thank you for making me realize I need to watch more movies.
Yo, you're welcome. Yeah.
What you were talking about, no idea.
Start with Star Wars,
you host a
dude.
movie podcast, so
That's right.
Star Wars.
Randy's like, I'm on a movie podcast, but you just made me realize I need to
I
watch
need to
more
watch
movies.
some movies. Yeah.
Before I plug my podcast, I want to say, Randy, maybe you're not on it anymore.
Oh,
No, I'm joking. All right. So, anyways, yeah, thank guys again
Randy's
for having
been
us on.
replaced by
Really-
Mike and Darin. Yeah.
Next week on the Decision Reel. No, I want to say thanks again for having us on. It's definitely an enjoyable time. This was a great, good, enjoyable
Yes.
evening. You can find us though on thedecisionreel.com, or we're on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube at The Decision Reel. You can find us there, like us, favorite us, do whatever. Oh, we're on Spotify.
Podcast.
We wanted to tell
All the time.
everybody here at Irritable Dad Syndrome Land, don't forget, next week, episode 104, that's going to be our 2-year anniversary special.
Yep.
Mike and I have compiled a great, fantastic list of greatest hits.
Yeah, the
from
Loch Ness
season
Monster is
2.
about 20 minutes of it, so it's going to be a long episode.
We hope to see you there, and we want you to go to irritabledadcenter.com. If you'd like to become a patron, if you'd like to donate $1 a month, you can do that. You can help us keep this show on the air, and you can be amongst great company like Chris Michael, Ed Jones, fantastic guys like that. And but yeah, check us out. We'll see you next week on Irritable Dad Syndrome.
Portions of this podcast were pre-recorded.
I didn't
flew
piss
by.
anybody off, I don't think.
I know you. For the first time ever, we have a guest that Mike didn't ignore.